Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Endless Space 2 by Amplitude Studios. And just a quick note, you may notice that we're a little bit further along than we were in the last episode. I got rid of the previous episode just because I felt like not much happened, and it didn't really change anything regarding the narrative. So, just to keep the series moving along and keep things interesting, I felt like it really didn't add anything. So we're about 30 minutes further than we were at the end of the last published episode, and things you would think are going our way. We are being successful in the prosecution of all of our wars. We have held Horatio here by blockading his 2 border planets, and we keep destroying every fleet he sends against us. We are at peace with the Lumeris, and our allies, the Riftborn, continued to advance. But things are not as they seem, because in reality, we are in a tough spot. We are completely blocked off by all sides. The Cravers continue to expand. Now they're expanding down in this quadrant. And by doing so, they are depleting these planets. So even if we are able to defeat the Cravers and recover their planets, they aren't going to do much for our civilization, because once a planet is depleted, that's the end of it. It's no longer very valuable. So our main challenge is to be able to take out the Cravers as fast as we possibly can before they have an opportunity to deplete a lot of planets. Now, their home planets are probably pretty much gone, but these new ones, especially these up here on this lip here, which are actually very difficult to get to, they have outposts, and because of the slow pace of our vining of systems, they will have done a ton of damage to these planets by the time that we're able to get there. That's one weakness of our empire, is we can't just start a colony anywhere like anyone else. We have to have it be adjacent. For example, I'd love to start a colony in Regulus. Seems like a good system for us, but as you'll notice, it is not surrounded by our potential vines. Zuyin is, but our allies have an outpost there. So my guess is you would have to take Zuyin, and then this system would be available, but unfortunately it is not. So our expansion is incredibly limited. So we have to keep winning military battles, because if we do not, eventually the clock is going to run out on us and we're going to be overwhelmed. So it appears I'm invading Xanados. I really don't want to. I'd rather just blockade it, because obviously I'm outnumbered here. I have more armor. Another thing we were discussing in previous episodes is the presence of Cravers in my empire. In fact, there's quite a few of them in Cherry. There's 4 units of them. So what I'm doing, it's a trick. And there's no guarantee it's going to work, but I read on the internet that it did. The developers might have already fixed the bug. But essentially, you are allowed to move population, which I did not know, from one system to another. So what I'm doing is I'm moving Craver population. Unfortunately, I can't do all of it, just 3 at this point. But I'm moving it to Ponderosa Pine, where currently they are full. They don't have any room for more population. So the way I understand it is that the Cravers, upon arriving on the planet, will simply disappear. But we're going to have to see if that works or not. Otherwise, we're going to have Cravers on Ponderosa Pine, and we're going to have even more problems than originally. But we are going to gain another Unfallen. So as long as we keep doing this, we should be able to be okay. And I believe as long as the planet is partially depleted, but not fully depleted, we should have no real problem with it. That is my hope, anyway. And as a result, that should lower the militarist population. In fact, that's one thing that's worth noting to you all, is the militarists are completely dominating our system right now. Well, they're down to 35 from 40, but they're growing. That's the Senate. But if you look at the potential future, which is this graph here, you can see that the militarists are completely dominating our entire political structure. And the reason for that is gameplay-wise, we've been building a lot of ships, we've been building a lot of defenses. It takes into consideration what wars you're in, if you're invading planets, things like that. So I don't see any real way, except for researching technologies that let you rig elections, to keep the militarists out of power, because they're obviously, by my actions, they're obviously the dominant political force, and we need to continue defending ourselves. And we shall. So first off, it looks like we have a new Horatio army. They are getting stronger, so we shouldn't be complacent. Laser. Okay, so powered shields. But we have larger ships coming too. Well, there you have it. I was just talking about being complacent. Well, we lost this battle. And now they're getting in on the action here. So obviously we need a more dynamic fleet. What is up? Oh, right, because it's inside of his influence, I understand. So definitely, a new fleet is a huge deal. We also need more Vine ships, because we have control of Gikra, but because the Cravers just abandoned their outpost there for whatever reason, we cannot conquer it, we have to Vine it. And I've actually forgotten where our Vine ships... There they are. So let's move... Yeah, they're moving up to Gikra. Perfect. So they're all set up for that. So we have many problems and not a whole lot of solutions. We just have to go straight up militarist, and we have to do it quickly. Ground battle at Xanados. Okay. I was told bombing was a bad idea because it limits your manpower by 30%. Although I always thought that was the deployment limit. And I thought we... Like it says here we have 700 troops. I didn't know we had that many. I thought we had less troops than he did. I thought we only had like 200. But at least we have more armor than infantry, which is what I was really going for. Alright, we'll just guerrilla it. See how it goes. I mean, we'll probably lose. We've been losing. But we'll see. Looks like they're bombing. And once again, we are obviously getting the worst of this, although we seem to be doing alright. Their artillery looks very imposing. Well, we managed to leave one guy alive. I think he's a Lumeris, I'm not entirely sure. It was a draw, but they did lose some infrastructure and population. So they did conscription. So I'm not entirely sure why all the explosions were there. But by them conscripting, they're actually taking away their own citizens. So that's not entirely a problem. I'm not really disturbed by that. Also, thank you for the person in the comments who let me know that when you were blockading a star system, it is not 10% of their total manpower that depletes every turn, but 10% of your total manpower is taken away from them. So if you have a small manpower, they're only going to lose 10% of your manpower. And that's why it's taking so long for these systems to be blockaded. I would very much like to see the Riftborn assist us more thoroughly. And Matarka now seems to be inside their influence, so I'd like them to grab it and then maybe put them competitively for these systems here. If I can't have them, I'd like my allies to have them. But regardless, okay. Yeah, I know. Oh, we have another battle here? They're fighting us again? We're going to retreat on this one. So it looks like Horatio has gained one of his planets back. We still have control of Zarak, but this fleet is not entirely better than the previous one. So we just need more ships, essentially. And I don't think anyone right now is building ships. Alright, Thrustrellan. You are the one guy who's not on the council. I guess, yeah, we'll do food, just to beef up our manpower a little bit. Speaking of beef, I wonder if the Lumeris are vegetarians. Alright, Ponderosa Pine. Yeah, this is not a ship-producing system. I want to produce ships, but this is not the right place for it. But there is something we can do, actually, that I noticed. And that is, we are now able to upgrade... There we go. We're now upgrading our cities to level 3. Which means we have to look at our luxury goods and find out which bonuses we want and which we have a steady supply of so that we can upgrade all of our planets. You remember upgrading from level 1 to level 2, we used the deciduous trees, which granted us +4 dust per person, which was quite useful, and we still have plenty of that. So that might be something we want to look into. In addition, we have Transvine, which will improve happiness. That'll help us. We have Dark Glitter, which will... this family resource improves the manpower So that might be very useful for us in level 3. I mean, at some point, it's going to run out of its usefulness. Whereas, for example, dust and production will always be useful. So it's a hard choice. And trade, I don't care about. And we only have protospores for science, and we don't have a lot of them. So I think we're going to go, oh boy. So we get plus 53 Jardonics per turn. So we have plenty of that. We don't have too much red saying. So food is not, it's not going to work. We only get 7.2 a turn. How much do we have of this? Well, a ton of dark glitter. So we could use all that dark glitter. So the question now is, do I want to have a production bonus or a dust bonus? And I think dust. I mean, we seem to have a lot of dust, but I've been buying out a lot of buildings to speed them up. And that's very useful. More useful in the long run than production, especially when we can start buying out ships. So maybe we're going to keep the dust bonus, but we're going to add now. Well, let's think about this for a minute. This just gives you manpower capacity. It doesn't necessarily improve the rate at which you gain manpower. So we're going to do production instead. Food would be good, but we don't have enough of the red saying to last forever, I don't think. We definitely can't use Eden Incense. And we do have plenty of Transvine. 25% happiness. That does seem useful, especially on recently conquered worlds. But is it better than 4 production per person? I don't think so. And once you set this, by the way, you can never go back. So from now on, even if I don't need dust and production anymore, every time I upgrade a city, that's what's going to happen. So you just have to deal with it. You have to think ahead, and you have to just plan for what you think is going to happen. Oh, we have 2 trading companies. We have the BRF Jism Creative, okay, and the Moesian Assets Group. And it looks like they both have 5 active trade routes. They're both producing, or wait, they're generating a ton of income. And also, I didn't know trade companies could produce. Wow. So we're getting, from our trade with the Riftborn, we're also getting luxury goods in addition to money. Now, what does this mean? Click to purchase an additional freighter for this company. Permanently increasing its dust and science. Permanently increasing its luxury and science. That's funny. In both ways, this is a scientific company. Actually, they all are. Yeah, why not? Alright, we have 4. Now we have 4 freighters for each of these guys. Right now the trade routes are pretty well protected. So that seems to be a good thing to do. Alright, cool. So we've upgraded our cities. In fact, we're going to do that here. That'll be the first move we make. It'll take 2 turns, but that's fine. Again, this is not a ship production city, so there's not much we could do here. We are on the plus with regards to manpower. Alright, Cedar is, though. Holy moly, it's all about producing things. So, first, though, we need the... No, we don't need the shipyards, because we already have it. So the only question is, do we upgrade to level 3 first, so we have more production, and then produce ships, or do we start producing ships right away? And the answer to that is, how long is it going to take to produce ships? 2 turns for a light ship. So will the +4 production times 21 people... Tons of militarists. Would that would make a huge difference, though. 756. 421. So that's 84. So that'll be almost 900. That'll help. That'll help. But will it be enough to reduce this to 1 turn, though? And I don't think it will. So, 5 turns total for all of these. That's fine. We'll just do the ships. We need ships now desperately. And half. This is the Hisho world, which up until recently has been a focus of troop production. But they do have the shipbuilding capabilities, meaning we have the big data shipyards that help us. So it's a little slower than the other system. It takes 7 turns to build up this entire fleet, but that's alright. Yeah, last political survey, the militarists are 71% strong. And the main effect that has on our nation is that it makes the laws. So, for example, The FIDS bonus to peace and alliance and the happiness bonus would go away. If the pacifists lose political power, these laws will get canceled, and we'll lose those bonuses that right now we're desperately in need of. And even My Precious, which gives us more luxury resources, and Dust is something we could totally use. So I hope that we can stop the militarists somehow. I mean, don't get me wrong, they come with their own set of bonuses as well. What's this? Horatio, go away. You have no attack whatsoever. All right, well. So they went to Maple. That's a pretty fast-moving ship. It's called an invader, so I presume it must have something to do with invading. Wrath, by the way, is now fully under control of the Lumeris. Also, this quest to get rid of the Vodiani, I'm hitting kind of a snag with it because I don't see any Vodiani anywhere. They're not in the Riftborn territories, and they're not in my territories, so they must be hiding out in neutral territories. And the last thing I'm going to do is send out a fleet to try to stop them when, look at the Cravers here, are just destroying us. So we're slowly debilitating Kuma, which is good, although they have a fleet here now too. Let's see what they have here. So we just desperately need more ships, essentially. We were ahead for a time, but now we're being outmaneuvered. They have stronger ships, they have more powerful ships. So we have a mixture here of laser and kinetic, but mostly kinetic. We're going to turtle and hope for the best. Alright, so we won, but we lost a fair amount of ships in that exchange. What do we have here? Oh, a giant fleet. That's excellent. Let's get them down there. It'll be a couple turns, but finally. And I thought we had more than that, too. I thought we had more light ships and fire ships. We do have a Needle, which is fleeing. This is all smaller ships here. Yeah, I don't see any real strong fleets here. This is just Needles and Wells as well, but there's 13 of them, so at least it's a fair amount. In fact, we'll send the Scorching Embers up here just for the moment to join up with this fleet. I'd rather have more powerful fleets. And that's that. So times are tough for the tree people. I mean, everything looks like it's going our way, but it really doesn't. Time is running against us, especially with the Cravers.
For desperate times.
What? When should we go to war with you? When you're ready to give us your full attention? We ain't stupid. Oh, I think what they are trying to say is that we are at war with a third party, so they're like, hey, now would be the great time for us to declare war on you because you were otherwise occupied. However, they are currently losing a war with someone. Alright, more Xanados. Again, we're just going to guerrilla it out, hope for the best. We don't need to watch it again. It's a draw. And we also destroyed another unit of their population. Unfortunately, it's the poor Bagaba, who are nice people. And we took out their drone network. But at least we're hanging on. We're hanging on. We do have more total manpower. But they have more infantry. Wow, we're gaining Hiroshims, Calgeros, Unfallen. No Cravers, though. I wonder how that's going. I wonder how that's going, sending our Cravers to Ponderosa Pine. Like, did it work? Did it not work? Yeah, there are currently no Cravers living here. Cherry has only one Craver, and he is now gone. Departing to Ponderosa Pine. This system is full. I don't care. Oh, well. Oh, here we go. No destination. This time let's go, Koisil, right? They have no, they are gaining a population. Shoot. So Maple's really the only one that isn't. Alright, departing to Maple. And then we should be done with Cravers. Forever and ever. And that is good. Alright, Gikra. We have a fleet here, which needs to do their thing. Kinetic, so we're going to turtle. Alright, vine ships are on their way. Not quite there yet. Who's this? Alright, 2 more cravers are on their way as well, it looks like. We can combine this fleet. Alright, we just have to hang tight. What the hell is this? Oh, it's probably a civilian ship. No, but we can't kill it. Interesting. Alright. We're just going to have this needle here join this other fleet. The problem here now is that Ponderosa Pine is threatened. But we're not doing that much damage to Zarek. Alright, Koisil. That's why the population's growing, because we just colonized the lava planet. Oh, we don't have any specializations in Koisil. What are we doing here? So let's go with Geo-Industrial. This is hot and sterile. So we'll do another Geo-Industrial. Even though technically this should be more of a dust planet. I'm going to start busting out fleets aplenty from Koisil. So this one is mostly food. But it's not... Oh, it is fertile. Okay, so we'll do evolved soils. And then cold and sterile. That should definitely be science. It's not going to help too much because there's only 5 population. But and then after that, we'll upgrade to level 3. And that'll take a little bit. But once that's done, we're going to start building ships. Redwood. Yeah, I guess Redwood's alright. I have Geo-Industrial here because it's hot. But I do have... These two are getting us dust. Irradiated. Nothing we can do about that. Do we have the big data shipyards? We do. Alright. 6 turns. That's not bad. That's better than half. Alright, Birch. Birch does not have big data shipyards, I'm pretty sure. Or it might, but it doesn't have AI labor. So there's still more things we can do with Birch. Like, for example, dust. We've got our Geo-Industrial here. Colonial Exchange here. Yeah, that's fine. People could use a bit more happiness, too. So we'll get 5 happiness because of the dark glitter, but that's all. That won't help super much. Overpopulate. Oh, we don't have big data shipyards here. Alright, so what about the Body Language Institute? That's nothing to do with happiness. Okay, this will give you 25 happiness, the Well-Being Foundation. But we need antimatter. So they're essentially unhappy because of overpopulation, because of the negative effects of the planet, and overcolonization. So really the only way we can fix that is by a hero, or by building this building which we cannot build. Or I guess by this, which will improve it by 5, subtly. But take 4 turns and a maintenance of 16 dust. That's all we've... Oh, whoa, whoa. That's all we've got, though, so... Alright, Mahogany. Yeah, Mahogany's definitely not going to be producing fleets. We got science and food. Oh boy. So that means everything's going to take forever to build, I presume. Yeah, 9 turns for that. For each of these. 5 turns for dust. Which won't even help us too much. Research, though, should be a good idea. 3 turns. And that's 10 per planet. And 10 per temperate. So we'll get 30 out of that. We don't have any fertile, I don't think. Nope. But we'll get 30 science. So I'll take this up to 83. And we'll just develop this one slowly. That's all I can think of. And that's that. Shoot. Well, okay, we're at 25 minutes, so it's time to end the episode anyway. But essentially, we've got some serious problems. We don't have anywhere to expand to, so we're rapidly trying to put together fleets so that we can defend and attack and get more manpower. But in reality, we're kind of in bad shape. Now, the Riftborn seem to be expanding, finally. So if they could send some military ships our way, that would be lovely. Although, really, the most convenient person for them to attack would be the Lumeris, who we are currently at peace with. Who are they at war with?
Are you back as friend or foe? Speak fast.
I actually didn't want to talk to you. That's what I want to do. Alright, so they are currently... They're not at war with anybody. They're at Cold War with our alliance and Cold War with everyone else. So I'm not sure what they're worried about. Whereas we're at hot war with these two. And they both seem to be getting stronger. So, next episode, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to figure something out. We're going to have to do something. I mean, we're basically trapped here. The only system we can expand to at this point is Gikra. And I suppose we could also expand to these two, but their outposts will be probably there before we're able to do it. Although, because they're just outposts, they should be easy to conquer. Unlike Kuma and Xanados, which are really taking a lot of time for us. And by the time we do get them, they're going to be loaded with cravers and low in resources. So, I'm not even sure if it's worth it. But we have to, because then we can get through to like Libra and Sejanus. Those two would be very helpful to us, and they have no craver influence. If we could somehow stop them from getting to Pardalis and Cetus and Procyon. And everything they are at, we'll just have to take them down as fast as we can. Alright, well, thanks so much for watching. I'm Marcus Aurelius. This is Endless Space 2 by Amplitude Studios. We are the Unfallen, and we have yet to fall, but hopefully if we keep working hard, we won't. Have a good one.